Hello, everyone. Welcome to Election Day 2020. This is Decaturish.com editor and publisher Dan Wisenhunt. We'll try to do some Twitch streaming sporadically throughout the day. It's not going to be a huge emphasis for us. The best and most reliable up-to-date coverage you can find will be at DecaturishVotes.com. Again, that is DecaturishVotes.com. I'll throw a link in the chat. We do have reporter Zoe Sealer here. Zoe, where are you at?
We're sitting on the Decatur Square at the moment.
Cool. Are you with Mr. Dean Hess right now?
Yep.
So Dean Hess is our photographer, and Zoe Sealer is out visiting polling places and talking to voters today. So what have you heard so far this morning, Zoe?
So far this morning, there seem to not really be really any lines. I think the longest line we saw was like 30 people at Lakeside High School at like 7:15 this morning. Otherwise, some of the other places we've gone in like Tucker and Clarkston, and even Avondale, people have just been able to go in and vote, and there's been really no lines and no wait times.
So do you think that's because most people have already voted, or what's your sense of why there would be shorter lines right now?
I think so. I think that's what's the feeling that some people have gotten is I think because a lot of people voted earlier, voted through absentee ballots, that there's not quite as many lines today. And I think also why some voters decided to come out today because they knew there wasn't going to be such a long line.
So what are voters telling you right now, Zoe?
We haven't really talked to that many just because we haven't run into that many. But I mean, most people just haven't had any problems. They've been in and out pretty quick. So just enjoying voting on election day. I think for a few people, voting on election day has been kind of a tradition for them. So yeah,
So I mean, it feels to me like everyone's mood is pretty chipper. For the most part, is that the sense you're getting as well?
I think so. Yeah, everybody seems to be in a good mood today. We've run into some um, people who are like poll warmers, so just kind of handing out snacks, handing out water, making sure people have what they need if there's a line. But yeah, everybody seems to be in a good mood so far today.
So if you're joining us, this is the Decaturish.com Twitch. It's not really a show today. It's a Twitch stream. We're just going to kind of jump in and out. I'm talking with Zoe Sealer. She is out covering the polls for us today, along with photographer Dean Hess. Our other reporters, contributors you'll see out and about today are George Cheedy, who's going to be watching for any potential voter intimidation. He'll be accompanied by Gabriel Owens. Logan Ritchie is going to be handling voter problems. So if there's a problem, she's going to call and figure out what's going on, find out what caused it, see if there's a resolution. We have some breaking news. If you'll sit tight there, Zoe. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we've got some breaking news right now. There's going to be extended voting hours in two DeKalb County polling places, and let me just read this to you. DeKalb Superior Court Judge Courtney L. Johnson has signed an order approving a petition by the Board of Registration and Elections to extend voting for two DeKalb County polling places that opened late this morning. The Valley Brook precinct, located at Valley Brook Baptist Church at 1198 North Valley Brook Road in Decatur, will stay open until 7:40 p.m. Just side note, polls close at 7 p.m. usually. And then it also says the Gresham Road precinct, located at Obama Elementary School, 3132 Clifton Church Road Southeast in Atlanta, will remain open until 7:45 p.m. This extension was requested in an abundance of caution to ensure that all electors at the locations have required full 12 hours of voting. Questions in this matter should be referred to the Board of Registration and Elections Office. So it sounds like there have been some problems this morning with equipment, but no long lines. So that's a good thing. We're gonna keep following up on that. Are you hearing about any other sorts of problems at all that we haven't maybe covered? We've heard from our sources today that there might have been some issues where somebody was told they had already voted in person or absentee, but that's been cleared up pretty quickly. And then there's been some equipment malfunctions, but overall seems to be pretty smooth. Is that what you're hearing as well?
Yeah, so far in the places we've gone to, haven't heard of any significant problems or nothing new anyway.
Cool. Well, I want to just roll and Zoe, if you got to drop the call, I totally understand.
Oh, you're good.
Just a few other things. Zoe had checked in with some numbers. She told us as of 11 a.m., 244 voters had cast their ballots at Avondale State City Hall. As of 11:45 a.m., 73 voters had voted at Claremont East Precinct, and at 11:50, 68 voters had cast ballots at the Glenwood Precinct. So that's sort of tracking what we're seeing in terms of turnout. Our well-placed source in Fulton County said, quote, just checked in as a poll monitor at Scott Elementary on Hollywood Road in Fulton. One voter in the last 5 minutes. No tech issues. Apparently been this way all day. A lot of bored poll workers. Well, we appreciate you poll workers. We're glad you're out there. Throughout the day, volunteers have been providing food, personal protective equipment, and even music at some of the polling places. So we've got some cool video at DecaturishVotes.com at our second live blog of people who are uh, out and about, entertaining people at the polling place today. Logan Ritchie's going to join us here in just a second. I did admit her to the room. We'll see if she joins us. So yeah, we've got some people out there serenading people as they're voting today. That's really cool. Talked about the earlier issues, and yeah, if you are voting today, just remember you have until 7 p.m. to vote. And if you're in line at 7 p.m., you still get to vote, even though 7 p.m. is the cutoff. Logan, how are you today?
Hey, doing good. How are you guys?
I cannot complain. So, what are you hearing? We talked a little bit about some of the potential voter issues that might be coming up. What are you hearing so far?
I am getting reports that overall it's just been pretty smooth. The people who are in my neighborhood, which is Candler Park, are saying that there have been a couple of people showed up that it looked like they had already voted. They did a workaround. I'm waiting for more information on what that workaround is. But overall, it's just been pretty quiet. There hasn't been a lot to complain about.
So, do we think that this is going to change as we get closer to 7 p.m.? I mean, is there any reason to believe that there's going to be a flood of people who are getting off work headed to the polls?
That's what Margaret Arnett said from Indivisible Georgia '04. A couple of other people have also confirmed that. They think that people are just right now at work. After 4 p.m., people are going to start getting off work. Polls are going to start filling up a little bit more. I also wonder, not to be, too out there, but I wonder if people got nervous
Hmm.
about things that were boarded up, decided it wasn't worth it, and then maybe will show up later.
Yeah, I wondered about how much voters might have given into some of the perceived fear. But George's assignment today has been to look for militia activity around and at our polling places, and he really hasn't seen any. If he had seen, something, I'm sure he would have jumped in our Twitch to show us. So I mean, it seems like a lot of that has not materialized, which is good, but it would be unfortunate if the fear of that, kept some people at home. So I hope anybody that's still out there, if the two people watching this have not voted, please go vote. You still got until 7 p.m. Tell your friends. But yeah, I wondered that too, Logan, if there was a possible undercurrent of fear that might be driving this down. I do wonder too how important turnout is today, but especially in Fulton and DeKalb, because I mean I feel like with so many votes cast early and absentee, I feel like they've got pretty much all the voters they're gonna get. I don't know. Do you have any sense of how many voters they're expecting to come out? Voters that they might not have gotten already?
I don't know how many they're expecting to come out, but in Morningside, Fulton County, they're reporting that 80% of people have already voted. And so their precincts are really quiet over there because of all the early and absentee voting.
Yeah, I wonder that. I just wonder if that's going to be the prevailing theme. Is we didn't have a lot of because President Trump, my understanding, is counting on day of turnout, people showing up day of in droves to support him. Did y'all see a whole lot of Trump supporters? I know we're in a very Democratic part of DeKalb County, so I want to preface that by saying it might not be, uh, the case everywhere. And we do have George Cheedy going up to Dunwoody, and maybe he'll check in later. But have y'all seen a lot of Trump supporters out and about today?
No, the only people we've really seen was when we got to the square, there was a SUV that pulled into like the parking lot that had some Trump flags on it, but that's really it. We've seen some people out like in Clarkston's supporting one of the mayoral candidates, but other than that, we haven't really seen too many people campaigning, at least by the polls. Mostly a lot of the people, the volunteers handing out snacks and stuff. But other than that, we haven't really seen too many signs.
Gotcha. Well, we are gonna check back in with y'all maybe a little later today if we get some more updates coming in. I did just want to jump on Twitch really quick and give everyone a quick update about what's going on. If we have time later, we'll try to jump back in here and give y'all more of an update. Hopefully, this good vibe just continues on, right? Hopefully this voting continues to be a smooth process. We hope everybody gets out there and votes today. It's very important, use this right that you have to make your voice heard. If you haven't voted yet, please get out there and go vote. You've got until 7 p.m. If you need help with your polling, Logan, tell us about what's going on with the polling locations real quick before I jump off, because that's been an issue, right? There's been some changes, and some people have not gotten word about those changes until very late. What are you hearing about that?
Late last night, mail delivery was running late. I think that's been the case for months in Atlanta. But people were checking their mailboxes last night and getting these last minute letters that were dated last week, stating that their polling place had changed. According to Erica Hamilton, who is the director of the elections board or elections department in DeKalb, they have tried multiple ways to notify people that their polling place has changed. A lot of them closed because of COVID. There just wasn't enough space to get people in there socially distanced. And this has been an ongoing issue throughout the fall to get these locations confirmed. But you can always go to mvp.sos.georgia.ga.gov to check your address. You can check where you're supposed to go to show up for voting, and you can also check whether or not your absentee ballot has been counted and already in the process.
And just if that URL doesn't work, definitely just Google Georgia Secretary of State My Voter page. That's another way to bring it up. And I'm so paranoid. When I get off here, I might actually check my absentee ballot status again. I've been checking it. Like, I'm one of those guys who like check to see if the door's been locked 10 times. Because I'm just wired that way. But it's a great place to check if you think you voted. You might want to go check just to be sure that they have your vote and that they counted it. I've been doing that religiously. So it's good to hear from you both. I hope if you're available later, you can jump in and we can maybe talk about some stuff after polls close. Thank you all both so much for your hard work today. Just so you know, our reporters are out there and able to do this work because we have paying supporters who give us a little bit of money every month to support what we do. The URL for that is supportmylocalnews.com. Again, that URL is I'll put it in the chat, supportmylocalnews.com. That'll take you to the Decaturish.com support page. Sign up. You can make a one-time contribution or sign up to become a paying supporter, and you'll get great coverage like this, and you'll get a copy of our e-edition and other fun stuff that we give to our paying supporters. So, Zoe, Logan, I know you're busy. I'm going to let you go. Take care. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you all for watching, and we'll chat with you a little bit later. Bye-bye.